everybody, welcome back. As we're going through some of the instruments this semester, you will notice that some instruments require liquid nitrogen. So this video is going to go over how to safely get the liquid nitrogen that you need in order to properly use these instruments. So liquid nitrogen is very, very cold. If it touches you for any extended period of time, it will immediately freeze. It's almost an automatic frostbite, not very pleasant. So we want to make sure that we take extra precautions when handling this. So in addition to our safety glasses, we definitely want to be in a lab coat, and the lab coat should be buttoned up as high as it will go. And if you don't have buttons up at the top, just try to fold the lapels over so that you're covering the top part. You don't want anything to get on your neck or under the lab coat. The next item that we will need are these big, giant purple gloves. They will buy you some time if any liquid nitrogen were to spill on your skin, that you wouldn't get a burn from the liquid nitrogen. So now we're ready to get the liquid nitrogen from the tank. The first thing we want to do is check the pressure to make sure that the tank isn't pressurized over 40 psi. If it is, we need to vent the tank to let some of the pressure out. The vent is actually located on the opposite side of the tank from where we fill. So once we make sure that our pressure is okay, we're good to fill. So you want to grab either the 5, the 10, or the 20 liter dewar. So right now we have the 5 liter dewar. You always want to dispense from the big cylinder into one of the large dewars, not the small ones that we will get to in a minute. We'll remove the cap and we will stick the hose into the dewar. Now you want to make sure that the hose goes into the dewar about an inch to an inch and a half. Any lower, you'll have to wait for the hose to thaw before you can pull it out, and by then some of your liquid nitrogen will have evaporated. The next step is to open the tank, or cylinder rather, very slowly, and you want to wait for the hose to freeze. So what you should see right now and what should be happening is just liquid nitrogen vapor. There's no liquid nitrogen going into our dewar because we're waiting for the hose to freeze. If we were to open the valve the whole way without letting the hose freeze, it could fracture and the hose could break, and then you would have liquid nitrogen everywhere. Not a good thing. So you'll feel the hose stiffen up, and once it holds its own shape without you holding it, I tend to let go to make sure. Then you can start opening the valve until you start seeing liquid come out. You will see smoke. That's the nitrogen going back into its gaseous state. So you may need to blow to be able to see the level. You don't want to overfill the dewar or you have liquid nitrogen pouring out everywhere. Another thing is you don't need to fill the dewar completely. You only need to have enough to be able to work for your instrument. Unless multiple people are using it, then you can fill the whole dewar. So you just kind of approximate. When you think you have enough, you turn off the cylinder, move the dewar out from under the hose, and put the dewar cap back on. If the tank's full and the dewar cap doesn't go on nicely like it just did, do not force the cap down. Let it go down on its own. You can break the cap if you try to force it down. We have one more step to do in the gas cylinder room. There is a notebook or clipboard attached to the liquid nitrogen cylinder. It is very important that when you get liquid nitrogen out of the cylinder, that you fill out your name and how much you took and the date. This helps us keep track for when we need to order a new tank, because nobody wants to have to wait if we run out of liquid nitrogen. So when this dewar is full or even half full, it can be a little heavy. So we don't want to pour the liquid nitrogen from this dewar into our small dewar. So now what we're going to do, in order to put the liquid nitrogen into the instrument, we are going to fill our small 1 liter dewar. It's best to do this on the floor. Inside the small dewar, it's actually filled with glass. So if we were to stick this on a bench top and it were to fall, the glass would implode and shards would go everywhere. Not fun. If we do it on the ground and it were to fall, the glass would shatter around our feet and legs. Might shred the clothes, we don't really know. If it was on the bench top and it fell, it's much closer to our face. So when we pour liquid nitrogen into the small dewar, we always do it on the ground. Again, we're still wearing our gloves. This is very, very cold, and our lab coat and our safety glasses. Once our dewar is full, we put the cap onto the large dewar, and we also grab the cap. It's just a little styrofoam piece for the small dewar. And then we can carry it over to our instrument and fill it up. This is how to get liquid nitrogen if you need it for an instrument. Good luck, have fun, and stay warm.